Hello, we will be discussing your solution to one of the questions that you answered during the assessment. Can you walk me through your thought process while implementing the form?
Which form?
I'm referring to the profile form you created for the Connect Plus feature. What was
Okay.
your approach in handling the form submission and validation?
First, I declared user state for controlled data like if you in the user state for username, password, and email. Then I created form like name input type text with name. Okay. Then password with type password. Then email with type email. Okay. Then I am controlling their values with user state. Okay. Then I have used required attribute to ensure that the form should be value should be required. If no value, then form will throw the error. This value is required. Okay. Then
Got it. You mentioned using the required attribute for validation. How do you handle the password complexity criteria in your implementation?
I did not handle the password completion, but we can use the like input attribute like min length is 8 and max length is 16. Then we can use some regex to validate the password.
That makes sense. So, if you were to implement that password validation, how would you structure the custom hook for it? Can you explain your approach?
Custom for password validation. Okay.
Sure.
First,
How would you go about?
I will create a function like use is password validate. Then I will receive password as a parameter. Then I will do some valid. I will declare a user state in custom hook like is valid or set is valid. Then I will use some regex to validate the password and use verify the password min digits and max characters something else. Then return will return the function for validating the password, and validation is true or false.
That sounds like a solid plan. Now, can you explain how the virtual DOM plays a role in your component's performance during updates?
Like during the initial render, React creates a virtual DOM one. Okay. Then if there are any changes in component, and React will create a virtual DOM tool, and React will compare both DOMs. If there are any changes, then React will update the certain part of virtual DOM, not whole DOM, and will update the real DOM.
Exactly. That's a great explanation. Now, how does the use effect hook fit into your component's lifecycle, especially for validation?
Hmm. Even I did not use effect, but we can use like a use effect, and we can pass the form is password valid in use effect dependencies. And then is there any validation error, we can throw the alert or something else. Otherwise we can send the data to the server.
That's a good approach. So, if there's a validation error, how would you handle displaying that error to the user in your form?
We can just show the alert message or something else if it is correct to the certain field or something else.
Got it. Alerts can be useful, but have you considered using inline error messages for a better user experience? How would you implement that?
I think I have a good idea better than inline message. Like we can create a central error handler like H2, where we can display whole error. Like if there any error in username, then we can display username is not valid. If there any error in password, then we can display password is not valid instead of multiple errors. So we can save the DOM to.
That's an interesting approach. Centralizing error messages can definitely streamline the user experience. How would you manage the state for those error messages in your component?
We don't need to create multiple states like for name for username, password, and email. Just we can create a user state like error set error, and we can set the error in set error state like if there any error in password, and we can said password is not valid, email is not valid, or something else.
That sounds efficient. So, you'd have a single state to manage all error messages.
Yes.
How would you ensure that the error messages are cleared once the user corrects their input?
Once the all error gone. Hello.
Great. So, you'd clear the errors when the input is valid again. Just to
Yes.
wrap up, what do you think is the most challenging part of implementing this form?
Most challenging part is in this form the regex part. We need to design a regex to validate the password.
That's a good point. Password validation can definitely be tricky. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. If you have any questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Okay, give me feedback on a scale of 0 to 10.
I can't provide a specific score, but I can say you had some solid ideas, especially around error handling and validation. Keep refining your understanding of React hooks and validation logic. What's your next step in learning?
I will learn Next.js. Hello.
That sounds like a plan. Learning consistently is key. If you have any specific topics in mind for next Tuesday, feel free to share.
Okay. Can you explain something bit about Next.js?
Sure, Next.js is a React framework that enables server side rendering and static site generation. It
Okay.
helps improve performance and SEO by pre rendering pages. It also offers features like API routes and automatic code splitting. Are you looking to dive into any specific features of Next.js?
No, no. Which